we are live.
Oh, hey, just let me look up for my phone.
Don't let me take you away from your social media.
You're not. All right.
All right. We are here. So, hey, everyone in the chat. Good to see you, Matt, Abyss, Miguel. And the Baywatch RPG was a suggestion from Abyss.
I would actually play that.
Yeah.
Like, it would be good, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. Okay, because, like, there's a reason for all the characters to be together. You're all lifeguards on this one beach, right?
Right.
You all have a job to do. It's all the same job. So there's an opportunity for, like, inter-character drama, right? But you also not always, but you also have, like, separate private lives, little side things and vignettes and whatever, right? That then affect things. So, like, come on, if there's the Magpie game, what's the name of the game? I want to play it. It's like Passion Still a Passion, where it's like it's a Powered by the Apocalypse, like Spanish telenova drama thing that it's like it's double. I think it's double layered, right? Where you're simultaneously playing characters in the drama, but and also playing people who are watching it.
Interesting.
I think that's how it works.
Wow,
and that sounds really cool. Like you could do that with Baywatch, right? Or something similar. So I would do that. Or if, like you said, actors and the characters
that would be very funny.
I mean, if there's like the Worldwide Wrestling one where you're simultaneously like not simultaneously, but like you're playing wrestlers and maintaining like the key, whatever it was, like kayfabe, right? That kind of like the persona and like the real life stuff. That's part of tension. So like, why not do a Married with Children kind of sitcom thing where you're like you're the you play the character and also the actor and all the shit that goes on. Like you just toss those out there. Those are fucking awesome ideas. I would do it.
Nice.
I would do it.
Nice.
No one would play with me, but I would do it. Right?
And you could do Baywatch nights if a few people didn't show up. For the
maybe
campaign.
not. Maybe not.
And if you're playing the real actors, I guess you're just like waiting around for your coke dealers.
Probably.
Probably.
Which would be fucking amazing. Yeah, as a game.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't condone waiting around for your coke dealer. Like, you find someone who comes on time.
Right. Yeah. You shouldn't be waiting. Oh man. Well, this isn't quite tabletop related, but I had to bring this up because this is so damn ridiculous. Okay. There is a Midjourney magazine coming out, and Midjourney is one of those AI image producing, one of the probably most popular. Right. And what the hell is that? And it doesn't make any sense. It's like taking something and trying to bring it into reality. They're trying to legitimize what they're doing with that software.
That's all it is. Right?
Like, who wants to look at AI generated art printed on a page, printed on glossy
Apparently
paper?
A lot of people. Like, I think you're right.
That's
the only thing it's trying to do is legitimize AI art by like, look, we're highbrow professionals.
Yeah,
we have a journal, right? Fuck off.
And what's the text going to be in there? You know, I get a lot of good results with pensive. Pensive Lolita is the phrase that generates.
It's going to be chatbot AI generated articles and everything like that. It would just be Laura Ipsum bullshit, right?
Yeah, because you could use the same same text prompts to do images and text. That's right.
You know what?
That's the worst.
Done as like a study of what it puts out or the comparison, that would actually be kind of interesting to see, right? We use the same prompt in these different bullshit AI generating software. Here's the images it came up. Here's the story it came up with. Whatever. Let's look at it. Like that would actually be kind of interesting. Yeah. Not to legitimize it.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. And that technology is just going to keep changing. So there's no point in giving it any attention while it's in its weird infancy right now. Too.
Oh, Google just adopted.
Yeah, everyone.
Stuff.
It's in Microsoft Word now. Like, everybody is.
I now regret very much swiping a few times while composing an email in Outlook on my phone. I'm like, I should have realized what it was going to. I'm like,
You're feeding them.
Yeah, feeding the machine. How were these suggestions? I'm like, yeah, they were okay.
Yeah, we've been feeding AI for quite a while.
Yeah, we have. Doesn't mean we have to keep doing it, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just regurgitated nonsense. I mean, it's just. Yeah, if it's that interesting to you, what you can do is you can take your head, you can put it down between your legs, you go a little bit further, and you can go all the way up your own ass, and there you go. That's about as interesting as life is going to get for you if AI generated art.
Okay, I would have to go look for more details. Just this morning, I saw something where people are, or someone is piloting or has developed, hopefully, a way to like prevent AI from scraping your images. Where
that would be,
what it does is I think basically it generates like a second, slightly different image on top of yours, which somehow fools the scraping algorithm, so it can't detect what the things are. And if that works, great. Especially if it stays free and like open source, whatever.
Right.
The last thing I want to see that happen is just like, okay, well, now to protect your artwork, you got to pay us.
Yeah, you got to pay. Yeah. But with all the image hosting websites already adopting AI and already like just putting that in their terms, we're scraping your images.
Yeah.
It's pretty hopeless. I don't know. We'll see where all this goes. But if you're using, if you're an RPG designer and you're shortcutting by using AI just don't do it. Yeah.
Go photo bash Creative Commons stuff, right?
Yeah, right. You can do your own digital collage of, royalty-free stuff. You can get great subscriptions to...
or put in the fucking work and be an artist yourself.
Right. Or do that. Or pay an artist.
That's it, right?
That would be even more amazing. Yeah, so to follow up on that, the South by Southwest Festival, the OpenAI president, Greg Brockman, had a great... had a great analogy. He sees ChatGPT. Oh, this is in terms of movies and script writing and producing content.
Can't wait to see where this goes. Yeah.
He sees ChatGPT as a group of assistants who aren't perfect but are eager and never sleep, and who can do the drudge work of writing and coding, but who could also provide more interactive entertainment experiences.
The fact you call it drudge work says exactly what you think the writers are.
Exactly, right. Just come on, give us a script. Just push the button and give us the script.
Yeah. Why don't you just hire like 1,000 monkeys to bang something out for you? Because you'll eventually get the same thing, right?
Yeah, this was taken from an article.
Payment cigarettes.
You're right. A Game of Thrones website that was going to use AI to rewrite the season 8 of the television show.
Well, you know what? It couldn't be any worse.
Can't be worse.
Can't be any worse. Right?
That's true. Yeah, that'll just prove though how illegitimate some of the screenwriters are now.
I take it back. I didn't watch past like season 3.
Oh, you are so lucky. You can just have that memory of that memory of what could have been. All right.
What could it have been? Read the fucking books. Right?
Well, if he'd finish them, I'd read them. Oh man, but good to see everybody in the chat. Let's get going.
Thanks for hanging out as we rant.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of ranting, a lot of waiting, a lot of ranting. Yeah, I'm thinking we should do like a Mr. Rogers little pan over a model city of Osaka, right as you enter, and then we'll have the camera cut, and you can enter and you can change into your card again. And sit down.
Okay, at home I'm kind of chill. I cannot be that. I cannot be Mr. Rogers chill all the time. Right?
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, let's see what's in store for this week. Oh, and day 38 of Kyle Brink Watch. Hashtag resign Kyle.
I was doing a quick Google search to find the logo to put in the tweet. Mm-hmm. One of the first things that comes up is like Kyle Brinkman when you search for upturned table. So I guess it's doing its job.
Oh, I don't know. Nice. I gotta get that hashtag trending.
Resign Kyle isn't up there, but
yeah, right.
Keep working.
Gotta get that trending. Nice. Well, yeah, this will be related. I have your replacement, Kyle. I think we have found your replacement.
Chatbot. AI chatbot.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. So let's get started.
I'm set.
Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly,
what do we got?
A lot of Kickstarters. Oh. Anyhow, Radiant Citadel is a Nebula nominee.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
HELLPIERCERS Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah.
That was a recommendation from chat in last week. I took a look at it. Yeah, it's fun stuff. And AMC's Walking Dead universe. I'm not going to say it without putting AMC's because that's what it is. It's the TV show.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. Yeah, okay.
And something that tickled Matt that I checked out too that was pretty good.
Maybe watch RPG.
Another.
God damn it! No.
No, I wish not yet. You're in space and everything is fucked.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's get started. A good Kyle Brink replacement, I think, comes up in this article.
Okay.
So D&D's Radiant Citadel is nominated for Sci-Fi's Nebula Award. So I guess they have a category now that includes like video game writing and the tabletop and things. Okay. I don't know, it's probably just like an other media or something. Yeah. The Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, which was a collection of several writers, is in the running against video games like Elden Ring. I didn't know Elden Ring had enough writing in it too. Anyhow, it is It's the game rating category. Yes, they specifically have a game rating category, and the project is led by Ajit George, who I am nominating to replace Kyle Brinkman because he seems to be the most sane of anyone doing anything for D&D. Because remember last week was saying I would do Dark Sun, I could do Dark Sun, give me Dark Sun for 5e. You don't have to be afraid. So, of course, if you don't know about Journey Through the Radiant Citadel, it's Black and Brown authors did an anthology spanning multiple fantasy worlds that included and were inspired by different cultures or groups of cultures. Oh, cool. So specifically taking inspiration from Filipino culture and different South Asian and different places. It was originally released in July of 2022. Very well received.
Very recent, yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, though, the ceremony is just going to be a virtual one. So if they win, it's just going to be on Zoom.
Well,
we're still doing that.
Yeah, but we're also still in the middle of a pandemic. Whether or not people wear masks or not.
Right. We're not. It's not over yet. Yeah. And so that'll be May 14th, 2020 this year. May 14th they will announce the winners, and that's the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America Awards, the Nebulas, and they date back to 1966. So it's interesting.
Old,
interesting. They're diversifying into game writing and trying to include it is the genre, but it's just not novels and short stories. Yeah. So that's cool. So congratulations to Ajit George and the whole group behind Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel. It's good that project actually was released. It actually was made, got through Wizards of the Coast and actually made it, into print. So we'll see. I guess, though, if they get an award, then it is going to be an award for WotC.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm only marginally keeping up on kind of what's going on in the WotC world. I think there's been, or I've been getting people complaining about there's some kind of like WotC Creator Summit kind of going on now or whatever, or it's either going on now or the people who are attending have been announced. And the only thing I've seen is people complaining about being called shills for going, right?
Right.
And I don't know. So I don't know exactly what's happening there. But it does kind of bring up the whole thing of, can you change something from the inside, right? And I don't know. Different people have different opinions. So I got to wonder about Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, right? Like I saw that. Sounds awesome. Okay, we've got all these diverse cultures. Is that just flavoring for killing things and taking their stuff?
Right. Yeah, have they
the
changed
fact that it's
the
D&D, and I don't know. I haven't read it.
Yeah.
The fact that it's for D&D, okay, yes. Right? The world's most popular role-playing game. It's big. Right? But again, if it's through the framework of D&D, like, I don't know. Right?
Yeah, I think that's that keeps coming up. Like some of their releases, their newer releases, like the Strixhaven. Well, no, is that the university, the magic?
Yeah, the Magic University.
Yeah, the Magic University. Like they're trying to have final magic exams and have school dances and stuff. Like they're trying to push other parts of the role play, but why are you trying to do that with 5e? Like, it's really funny that they keep doing that. So I wonder if I haven't seen Radiant Citadel, just know of the origin. So I'm curious if they actually decided to move away to try to do something else with the what the characters are doing in the adventures.
I don't know. Like I don't think you can. But like we've discussed before, like okay, unless you're changing the mechanical framework of D&D, which you could with extra like bolt-on rules, right? But then it's still just kind of a combat simulator, right? Because it's everywhere else. It's like, do whatever you want. Do what feels right. We will maybe give you a few guidelines, right? But like with combat, it was like, no, here's exactly how you run it, right? So you're like, okay, what is this game? Anyway,
No, that's a good point, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see what the people that are involved in this project, what they do, because maybe they won't be. They'll get this award, and hopefully that will be credentialed. That'll get them, legitimized to do their own company, do their own publishing.
Well, the thing is, like, not everybody wants to, right? And you shouldn't kind of have to. And like, unfortunately or fortunately, however you see it, right? Like WotC is kind of the top, right? Like what are we going to do? We're working up to get to work for WotC, and the fact that we did is like that's kind of like the we made it thing, and the fact that the biggest game put this thing out can definitely be seen as a win. But anyway, okay, right. I'm just going to talk myself in circles. So on to the next point, right?
Yes. Let's start the Kickstarter extravaganza.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
So first, we'll start with Sandy Pug Games HELLPIERCERS. So a tactical hell-slaying action game.
Okay.
So here's some of the flavor. 6 years ago, in the center of a city on the moon, made of ruined brass and arcane ritual, the Council of Socialist Gnostics perverted the magic of heaven to tear the fabric of reality and peer into the pit. And they found humanity's lost. Billions of souls lashed into a nightmare of eternal torture and toil, their soul forms twisted into beasts of burden, weapons, and worse. The portal snapped shut. As soon as our darkest fears were confirmed, hell is real, and almost every human soul was trapped there.
Okay.
So you're piercing hell, you're attacking hell. So the so they're kind of basing it on a few different mechanics: tactical hell slaying, base building, and map-based strategy. So it seems there's a couple of games that do seem to take a lot of inspiration from video games, like a lot of the mechanics and the names of things, like bosses and stuff.
Tower defense.
And seem to be made from. So these are people coming at it from enjoying games and wanting to include some of those. So it's set in the Great Morning. The Second Global Congress of Ankara is responsible for this reclaiming the souls from hell. So you play as divine humanity clad in corpses of angels storming the gates of hell. That sounds pretty heavy, pretty metal. So they have vast character customization, meaningful strategic layers, with mechanical simplicity, fast-paced tactical combat, and extensive GM tools to make interesting counterplay and faction development. Oh, cool. So it sounds, and the character creation, they say it is very modular. So you can constantly, kind of reconfigure like how your character is working during like downtime, and there's a lot of alternatives. So it sounds really fun. The approach, I didn't see anything about the dice mechanics or anything, but there is a preview. I'd put a link to the preview, so I didn't go through the preview.
I've kind of been on a Kickstarter moratorium, especially since I'll be moving soon.
Oh, right. You don't want anything
developed, but like I'm real tempted to back this.
Yeah. No, it looks good, and I like the art as well. They do an interesting job with the art. So Sandy Pug Games promises top-notch artwork and stories that speak of complex themes, the unity in the face of cosmic horror, and the limitless potential of unified humanity. So that's awesome theming. I mean, they did a really good job, and it doesn't seem to be. I mean, it's very Judeo-Christian, based, but it's also, but I guess like concepts of hell exist in all religions, so you don't have to strictly see it that way. But in terms of angels and hell, but it looks really fun. So I would suggest checking it out. There is a preview of the with some temporary art, and the kind of draft that they have so far is available on their itch.io. So I put a link to that.
I'll be going to check that out.
Yeah,
seems funny because like I appreciate games that have like a theme and a focus, and if you're going to like, oh well, Chris keeps slamming D&D for being combat focused, why he's going to back that? Like, because this game is about combat, right? Like that's its deal, right? Like you're going to go kick some demon ass wearing like angel corpse armor in hell, right? Like it's not going, oh, this game can be anything you want. It's like, no, this is what the game's about. Here's the mechanical focus. All the mechanics are going to be like tuned to give you this experience. I appreciate that kind of design instead of going, it's a toolbox, man. You can do whatever you want, but not really a toolbox, right? If you're going to do a toolbox, make a toolbox. If you're going to have a focus, make a focus. Don't let everyone just figure it out for themselves. Anyway, sorry.
Good.
Continuing this rant.
So moving on to another Kickstarter, probably the least exciting of all of them.
I expect a very deadpan voice here.
Oh, yes. The Walking Dead role-playing game.
Oh, you messed it up.
Oh, what? Oh, sorry.
AMC.
Oh, AMC. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, AMC's Walking Dead. Yeah, so I was getting to that part at the end.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so AMC's Walking Dead role-playing game lets you play out scenarios from the TV series. Wah, wah. Oh. So it's pretty strictly, that's what the license is, and that's who they dealt with. And there's even a little AMC logo like under the Walking Dead. So that means it excludes the comics, which excludes a lot of great artwork, but Free League does amazing art. They've got great art direction and great artists, so it's going to be Martin Grip cover and interior art. So it's going to look nice, but I don't know.
I bet it's going to play nice too.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
But
yeah, it's going to be year zero, and it seems like from the explanation of the producer, I watched a little bit of a live stream. It's going to be similar to more D6, not quite Twilight 2000, but similar to straight D6 with a panic mechanic, like an alien panic mechanic. So the things that you do, the penalty instead of so there's panic, and also you're raising a threat level of zombies. Okay. So things that how you're interacting or what you're trying to do either makes noise that attracts zombies, or just creates a distraction to you, and then all of a sudden you've got zombie attacks. So there's a little like level.
I like that.
Yes.
And that would be a useful mechanic elsewhere. I mean, you can do that with just about anything. I mean, like translate it to Dinosaur Island, and just like you're attracting raptors, right?
Right.
Hellpiercer, some kind of alien station. You're attracting demons, right? I like that mechanic where it's like, okay, no, it's not harm, it's not fail. You did it. Mm-hmm. The GM's just going to accumulate this resource to make your life shitty later on.
Here comes the dinosaurs. Yeah. Yes. So in AMC's The Walking Dead role-playing game, so you're trying to survive, and an emphasis. So just like with Alien or Blade Runner, there's kind of an extra storytelling or narrative emphasis. So trying to talk about people working together and developing kind of your identity and your usefulness in this group of survivors.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, it's the mechanics sound great, and of course they are going to be great. The book's going to be beautiful. Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's strange too, because they also said that there are more Walking Dead properties coming out. So the main series is finished, and I think the Fear of the Walking Dead may be finishing as well. But there's another. It's like, how many spin-offs?
Gotta keep milking that cow.
Yeah, how many spin-offs? I guess they do thoroughly own this, but the thing about AMC is they get sued by everyone because they're terrible business practices. And I think the original comic book creator is suing AMC for royalties and things. Yeah, like using his ideas and not paying him for them. So I don't know. And it looks like they may do things in a similar way. I didn't get through the whole Kickstarter page, but it's going to be a rule book, and then they'll do custom dice and maps and stuff. And the one thing that they're unlocking with stretch goals is recognizable characters from the statted out kind of pre-gen versions of the recognizable show characters, so you can play all those wonderful characters.
Well, I mean, okay. Honestly, like, what's the difference between that and an alien cinematic scenario?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, sorry.
And I don't necessarily mean mechanically. I mean, like, conceptually. Like we're kind of bashing it. People like, oh, we're just going to play.
Well, it's
just like, okay, maybe you want to do that.
Yeah,
right?
No, definitely. If you like that, I mean, and yeah, zombie would be, zombie apocalypse would be fun to play. Just this IP, and specifically this television series IP, is so uninteresting, and they've milked it for far too long. It's like one of those.
Here's your chance.
What?
Right? Here's your chance to make it interesting at your table.
Oh yeah. No, that's the thing too that I found with both Alien and Blade Runner is, not in love with everything that they produced, like comics and other things around that IP, but when it's at the table, you do get to make it your own. Like you don't have to play the characters from the TV series, but also mechanically, as you brought up when you're talking about the cinematic scenarios for Alien, they will have two modes. Similarly, there will be two modes: a campaign mode and then a survival mode. And survival mode sounds more like cinematic, where it's a problem and a location, and probably inspired by the TV show. Okay. So you're like trapped in the prison or trapped in the RV or whatever.
Trapped somewhere else. Yeah,
whatever you're doing.
Trapped in the hospital. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so they're going to support both of those from the beginning, but maybe like kind of like Alien, you're not going to have that clear. I'm wondering if the core book will give you enough rules to run the campaign, because we kind of felt with Alien, just the core book didn't really give you enough guidance. And
I still haven't read the Colonial Marines.
Yeah. Once I started, supporting the different choices for characters, then they fleshed out the world a little bit more, and also what a campaign is.
Yeah, it's not that they didn't give you tools for running a campaign mode in Alien RPG. It's kind of like the only thing they gave you were tools, right? With no indication of kind of how you're supposed to use them, what a campaign would look like. It's just like, here's a bunch of tables to generate stuff.
Yeah.
Go at it, right? So, yeah, maybe The Walking Dead would have something similar for their campaign mode, right? Here's a bunch of tables. Use it.
Yeah. Yes. So AMC's The Walking Dead universe role-playing game is co-designed by Niels Hintz, the same designer that's worked on Tales from the Loop and a lot of the other Year Zero engine games. And Joe LaFavi is also involved, who was kind of the IP liaison with Blade Runner and Alien.
Okay.
So he's also involved. And so it's gonna feel like the TV show, and it's gonna have great mechanics, and it should be very playable. But yeah, talk about a weird. It fits. I mean, I can see why the owners of the company or whoever they talked into this. Oh yeah, of course that makes logical sense. I
gotta wonder if people who are in charge of an IP that's not from a game, who then make who approach. I wonder which way it goes. Mm-hmm. Does the RPG kind of company approach and say we'd really like to do something with this, or does the IP company go, hey, we should branch out to other games and have no clue what an RPG? That tangent was just wondering. Like, this is a great fit, and like you said, the Free League books are fantastic. The mechanics are great. The art's wonderful. The book's going to be gorgeous. Everything's going to fit. I wonder if the people from AMC approached Free League because of that, or if they just said, here's a middling company that'll probably do it for less than WotC. Let's do that, right? Like, I want to know which one happened.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, that's very interesting. From my experience, brands often have agents, basically.
Right, okay.
Like, there's brand agencies that try to just negotiate. So they may, and those people have a little bit more of awareness. So when you get like an Xbox promotion on Coca-Cola cans, there's actually agents that are negotiating for those two companies, and like, this is synergy, this would be good, let's put this together. Then they present that deal.
So
to
it's
the
almost
companies.
kind of like, I guess, equivalent like a scout.
Yeah,
like
right.
I have some familiarity or a decent amount of familiarity with this area. I think this would be a good fit. I'm going to put the pitch together and run it up the pole.
Right. And because they probably saw Free League is doing a good job with IPs. They're having success. This fits. This makes sense. And let's see if we can make this happen. And they did. AMC's Walking Dead universe.
You know what? Okay. This might actually be... Okay, I doubt I'll get the book because I just have too many already, and I'm trying to cut down on buying stuff. And I don't want to cart all these books around when I move. But remember before we were talking about red markets and how that seemed pretty interesting, and how the mechanics turned me off because there was so much you had to track, right? Like, it seems really interesting that anything you use is going to cost you something in terms of like calories or energy or ammunition or whatever. Seems really awesome. It was way more than I would want to track, right? So I wonder if AMC's The Walking Dead universe, right? Hey, we can pitch for sponsorship, right? I will retract everything I said if we get sponsorship, right? I wonder if that would be a decent fit. Like, how much could you decouple the Walking Dead setting from this game to just kind of do generic apocalypse, I wonder.
Right. Oh, I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard. And the that threat, like you're saying, it could be dinosaurs, it could be anything. It could be
zombie dinosaurs.
Yeah, it could be Nazi zombie dinosaurs with flamethrowers and robot heads. But I think it's I mean, we're going to see just another iteration of Year Zero, which will be interesting. So it's probably worth looking at the PDF. And speaking of PDFs, so the pledges will be about $47 for the core copy of the rules, and that'll probably, as the success of the campaign increases, they'll probably throw in more stretch goals. So
physical?
Physical, 47 for physical, 28 for the digital.
Even more reasonable,
And digital often includes, I think they're supporting Foundry, so they usually support the VTT or some resources for that. So that's a thing that's happening, and it's interesting because it's the first time that they've hit an IP where I'm just like, I don't really care. I would enjoy a zombie game, but the flavor.
I don't know if I'm $28 PDF interested.
Right. Yeah, the flavor of this is not great, and the fact that show just drug on way too long, it's like,
gotta keep milking it.
That would be inspiration. So that really makes me wonder what is the next step of Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, Fear of the Walking Dead, Loathing of the Walking Dead, Terror of the Walking Dead, Night of the Walking Dead, Day of the Dead, Mall of the Walking Dead. I don't know.
Yeah, so who knows what that's going to be. But I'm looking forward to the AMC's Mad Men Universe tabletop RPG.
Hey,
where you put together your
you know what? I've actually never watched an episode of that. But after just championing the fucking non-existent
Oh,
Baywatch
there you
RPG, right? I'm not going to not.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah,
There's stuff you could do, probably, right?
Right. Lucky Strike cigarette promotion. That would be great to put together a campaign for.
Well, that's the big problem, right? You've got this looming ad. You got to know how much you're going to drink and smoke.
Yeah. The pitch, the day of the pitch. Oh, wow. All right. So moving on to another Kickstarter. So this seems like the most fun. Both this and Hellpiercers seem like a good time. The Dinoberry Press is producing a very wonderfully named tabletop RPG that maybe YouTube is not going to like us saying this too many times, but you're in space and everything's fucked.
Yep. Okay.
So so it's and they've already hit their goal on Kickstarter with a few weeks left. And it's going to be so the interesting way they're going to produce it is they're going to be 2 books, a 64-page station book, which basically goes to the GM, and a 40-page struggler book, which goes to the players. So the players are strugglers, and basically it's the same setting as Dead Space, System Shock, or even Alien. You're a survivor on a space station on a derelict ship.
Wait, let me guess.
And
everything's fine,
right? Yeah. Yes, and then that happens. Yes,
and then that happens. Yeah.
Right. So it's built for 2 to 5 players. And you're playing like in hostile space, and you're basically survivors. And I like the term that they use, strugglers. I think that works very well.
The struggle bus.
And some of the video game inspired aspects are strugglers revive at a save point, and
okay.
And there's a little bit of flavor that they had from the Kickstarter page. Your steps echo down the once pristine halls of the GSV Capital Gallivant, your waypoint leading you in the direction of what's supposed to be a cache of supplies, maybe even a friendly face. You can hear horrible klaxons in the distant part of the sectors you're in, and gurgling monster screams moving closer. Something with too many limbs darts across the end of the corridor, thankfully without noticing you. You know you probably won't survive another run-in with one of those things, not with your arms in the state they're in. You catch yourself letting out a sigh of relief. You just need to get to the waypoint. You just need to survive. You just need to make it. So yeah, I think they set the tone really well for survival horror, sci-fi based survival horror.
Is there any kind of in-fiction rationale for the respawn?
Oh yeah, I wonder,
because I've seen that used. Pardon me, I've seen that used in other games. The first tabletop game I saw that used in was a Magpie Games dungeon world setting, the cold ruins of Last Life, which I really want to play. Where like everything in that world is just dead, right? The entire world is dead, and so are you, right? And the only reason you keep going is like something is keeping you undead, right? So when you die, you respawn at the last campfire thing, very Dark Souls, right? But there's a penalty, right? Like you mark off in advance. You either kind of get more corrupt as things happen. And that's the first time I saw it, and I think it's pretty good. And I mean, Paranoia has their clones.
Oh yeah.
Right? And the latest kind of rune by I think it's like Gila RPGs that I back, which is very grid-based kind of combat. I mean, it's Dark Souls, right? Like you know you're gonna get killed, but getting killed actually, you're better prepared for that fight again, right? And it's written into the fiction. So I wonder if there's any kind of in-fiction rationale for the respawn here.
I didn't see that on the site, but it does talk about that things are it's random generation of the space station.
Oh, okay.
And what else?
That answers my next question about replayability.
Right. Yeah. So they seem to rely on things that mechanically have already been kind of thought of for video games,
which is fine.
And things. Yeah. So I think it's interesting inspiration, and the tone of it. I think they nailed the tone. I think that's fine, and limiting it to that, not making it it's
universe.
It's a space RPG that you can play any way you want. No, this is what's happening.
Tight mechanical focus about your game, people.
Right.
Looking at you, Watsy.
Yes, so $30.
Never gonna get fucking sponsorship, are we?
Never. $30 or more gets you the PDF. $60 gets you the print edition with the both books, and $300 gets you a monster design, and $600 gets you a play session with Dinoberry. So the creators will run it for you. This is and they've got a preview or a demo on their itch.io page.
I've been seeing this for a while.
Yeah, take a look at that.
I think I'm going to go check that out too, because I wonder if my one concern, how prominent is that F-bomb on the cover of the book?
Yeah, right.
I mean, like, I don't mind. I don't want my kid to go pick it up. No, what's this say, right?
Yeah, right.
Not that I'd like leave it out, depending on the picture, but like, hey, she loves looking for the Alien book, right? I'm just like, yeah, sure, go at it, kid. Right? Anyway.
Yeah, I wonder or especially if they're gonna go to a wider retail, if they'll censor it on the cover just so it can sit on a shelf more easily. Yeah, I wonder.
You know what? Whatever they want to do, of course, right? But I remember way back in the day, one of the first indie RPGs I picked up, I forget what it got called. It was called Panty Explosion Perfect. And it had nothing to do with exploding panties. It was just kind of Japanese anime themed, kind of not even like sexual shenanigans, just shenanigans. And that title got chosen because it's like the nonsensical title that you hear, right? And I of course, people look at you and go, right? And I remember now. I forget who made it. It got renamed on a later edition when it had a wider audience to Tokyo Brain Pop.
Yeah.
Right, and of course, creators can do whatever you want, and they even had this thing like, okay, we decided, and it was one person making it. We decided not to name it in the second edition because we just wanted to reach a wider audience. And Panty Explosion Perfect was not doing it. So
right.
Whatever you want to do, but I also kind of feel you lose something.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
And that original inspiration, just go with it, and it won't be a huge cross audience, genres success, but it should be what you want. What exactly make the game exactly
right. Like honestly, I don't see a lot of people playing Kill Puppies for Satan, which was like a lumpy game. The guy came up with Apocalypse World, like one of his early games. Like, okay, who wants to play Kill Puppies for Satan? You're just like, nobody. Why not? It's an awesome game, right?
Yes. So the emphasis on you're in space and everything's fucked is no prep, straight dive in with a complete station and random generation of the ship and the space age monsters.
Nice.
So yeah, sounds good. And plenty of death.
Oh yeah, I would hope so. Yeah.
Yes.
I wonder how that's handled also. Like, is it... Okay, because that's one of the... Well, okay, they handle it well. That's one of the downsides in the Alien RPG cinematic scenario. Usually there are enough NPCs where you go, well, you're dead. Here's your new character, right? And you kind of keep playing. And they did a really good job of those story points are attached to the player.
Yes,
not the character, right?
Right, yeah, so they move, yeah.
So I wonder how that's handled in You're in Space and Everything is Fun, right? Like, if death is expected, the person just go, well, okay, let me know when you're done. Or is it like, and here's your new survivor.
Right, yeah, or the spawning,
your struggler.
Yeah, your struggler if you respawn. Yeah, so as well as a demo, they're talking about the PDF release will be in June, and the print release will probably be in August. So they have a pretty good handle on the game so far. So yeah,
I'll be moved by then.
Yeah, okay. So that's Donaberry Press, and a link to both the Kickstarter page and the demo rules if you'd like to take a look at that.
Yeah, cool. I will.
So a heck of a lot of Kickstarters.
Yeah.
Some not as exciting as others, but
third sound pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Like
we said, like even AMC's The Walking Dead RPG universe, however long it is, right? It's going to be good.
Yeah.
So, like mechanics, art, layout,
right.
production. It's going to be good because it's Free League, but
yeah, and hopefully they'll lose that license really fast, and then they'll just have to make a generic zombie game that we can all enjoy.
They'll have to liquidate those books.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so it's funny, and I think that's the problem with licensing IPs is you're going to hit some kind of popular but like kind of okay because because you can't even come close to holding up Blade Runner, Alien, and The Walking Dead. I mean, it's
okay.
That's yeah.
I'm going to take a corporate approach here. Dollars.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, if they still think that there's that many fans out there, because Blade Runner and Alien are huge, but they're very old, and Walking
new ones.
Yeah, right. And the
both of them, yeah.
Yeah, and even though Walking Dead is waning, it's had more recent popularity. So,
or if the owning IP company kind of says we want to go a different direction. I mean, Marvel Heroic Roleplaying, which was kind of the precursor to Cortex Prime, was a fantastic game. And that one made me go, oh, this is how you would play established characters. And, oh, this is how you make things that are not like direct combat matter. And, oh, I kind of get all this. And there are not stories, but like there were books promised and kind of done. And then Marvel went, nah, we're not renewing that license. And it was just like, we were waiting for that book to come out to see all that, and it's just never going to come out, right? Like, yeah, I forget exactly which one it is, but there was another source book that was, or campaign book that was going to come out, and just like, never.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the danger is that if this is very successful and somebody huge takes notice, then they're like, oh, maybe we'll just, okay, yeah, so the contract is up and we're going to, actually, the license is going to move over to...
Here you go, Wizards.
Yeah, right. You guys, take it from here, because you're going to merchandise it with all your blind box, yeah, miniatures
Don't they
and
already
everything.
have Walking Dead Funko Pops?
I'm sure.
How many of them are now in a landfill?
Yeah, right. That's really depressing. So anyhow, where can people find you?
On Twitter, as always. It's Hivemind, HYVEMYND, where I don't know what I'm doing. Talking about more pixel art stuff that I can just continue to buy because the potential of what I could do with it is that little hit of serotonin, and I go, I don't need to finish. I'll just buy more stuff, right? Anyway, yeah.
Nice.
So how about you?
And I am still, even though my live stream just suddenly cut out this week, I'm still doing a live stream for my single panel gag cartoon where I ate a bunch of cherry blossom flavored snacks this week, which is
funny.
Pretty,
The cherry blossom stuff is the sakura flavored stuff is actually okay.
Yeah, because it's real like a real mild flavor. Yeah. So you can't put it in brownies though. I've realized that they tried to do a brownie. It's like chocolate just dominates this, so it doesn't work. But Abuse Cartoons on both Twitch and YouTube. And I draw the cartoon, eat some snacks in the convenience store, and just talk nonsense. And
with your mouth empty.
Yes, right. Yes, I try to.
Skill my kid has yet to master.
Nice. And it's a very nice chat. And if you'd like to read that cartoon, gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And if you like what we're doing here with the weekly, please visit upturntable.com for everything that we're doing. The
pre-recording rant.
Yes, right. The actual plays and reviews and unboxings and all that good stuff. And if you'd like to support specifically the weekly, go to patreon.com/upturntable and become a weekling.
Yes, with 2 E's.
Yes, the strongest of all of our patrons. They tell us exactly what they'd want to see on this.
They're like our boss.
Yes, exactly. Particular live stream. So step up and we want new management. We demand new management. So, so sign up today and let us know. So Upturn Table on all social media, and that'll do it for this week. So we'll be back again next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. All right. All right. So how's everyone doing? Thanks for hanging out in the chat. That was funny that Chris was on the way and posting in the YouTube chat. I guess that's a good reason to start it early. Yeah, Miguel, I think you're right. Yeah. Disney Lucasfilm is trying to destroy all of our childhood memories by making them into young adult romance stories from it's really really lousy. That was such a mess. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Miguel also mentioned Apex Legends is getting a tabletop version. There's so many video games, and I guess everyone's just looking, because skirmish games are probably doing okay, so everyone's looking for another property to make Apex Legends would have to be a skirmish game. That's very very funny. But so many video games are becoming board games that don't seem like they'll translate very well. So that makes sense. Yeah, and then we're talking about Married with Children RPG, Baywatch RPG. Oh, that's right. Nice. Yeah, good to see everyone. Yes, the waiting for your Coke dealer. That's all it would be. It's just and that would be if it was Baywatch. Yeah, production days. I don't think it would be early cell phone days, so it'd be beepers that you're calling. Nice. Oh yeah, I haven't kept up. I watched the first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian, but I haven't gotten. I think there's another one out. Yeah, haven't gotten to. I'm not sure what they're doing, and I'm starting to see headlines that are saying they're having trouble living up to what they set up with their little half season that they did during the the Book of Boba Fett thing. And I even saw somebody posted about a second season of that horrible Boba Fett story. They couldn't even make it a whole 8 episode run. Why would they do another season of that real weak nonsense? That was very bizarre. Yeah, I was very disturbed because seeing the first appearance of the return of Boba Fett in season 2 of The Mandalorian, he looked terrible. It just looked like some middle-aged dad with like hockey pads on. Boba Fett costume looked terrible, and I guess the actor probably got in a little bit better shape for the show, but yeah, or maybe they improved the costume and kind of squeezed him in a little bit. But yeah, I was worried as soon as I saw that. I didn't have a lot of hope that would do well. Yeah, and that is a weird thing. The helmet thing is very odd. Because actors want their faces out there, and characters, because that was people said the actor in Dredd did a good job by not having to. Sylvester Stallone in the Judge Dredd movie had his helmet off all the time, but in the Dredd movie, the actor playing Judge Dredd kept his helmet on the entire time. So yeah, very fitting the character much better. But I think that's really hard. I'm sure agents are telling you, don't do it. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, Hellpiercers looks fun as hell. Good stuff. Nice. Oh, so Matt said, I messaged on Free League's Twitter asking if Walking Dead is more like Twilight 2000, Year Zero, or Mutant Year Zero, and they never answered. Yeah, I saw a quick, I just kind of jumped through it, but a live stream with, I think one of the CEOs or one of the producers of the game, not one of the designers, but yeah, he was just talking about the panic mechanic and things. I think it's from what I've seen, it looks like D6 die pool, and there's like 2 colors of dice, so maybe more like Alien than Twilight 2000. I think it's going to have panic dice that you roll. So it's the same thing where the more panicked you are, the more chance you have for success because you include panic dice. But if you fail on any of those panic dice, then it erases the zombie threat, and maybe you roll on a table to give you some possible freak out response, some panic, panic results. So yeah, eventually the bulk of zombies should be so degraded that they're just like more like landmines than predators. Yeah, Matt, that's very true. And Matt also said, how do Walking Dead RPG sessions not devolve into Carl memes? That was just when we were just when Chris was getting ready to go, that's exactly the thing I was saying, is that the whole time I would have to play one of those characters just so we had the coral. Yeah, that's the only thing, that's the best thing to come out of that Walking Dead show. I mean, and I enjoyed the first couple of seasons of that when they were sticking kind of close to the comic, but having to, because the comic's pretty intense. The comic's got like, child murder and a lot of like crazy stuff in there very early on that the people are doing. It's not, zombies doing these things. It's the actual people that are so messed up. And I think a lot of things that AMC can't do, they can suggest, but they can't like directly show some of the things that people, that were depicted in the comics. But then it just, and especially once they took it away from the original showrunners, I think people have done some good YouTube videos about how screwed up that show, because it was Darabont, the guy that directed The Fog, and he had the remake of The Fog, and he had a bunch of the actors that he normally used, Frank Darabont, and they kicked him off the show, and yeah, I think it went downhill from there. And then they obviously cut the budget because there were just like the occasional zombies, and they looked like they just had they just splattered some makeup on them. They lost the nice makeup effects and everything. That's crazy. Oh yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, there's so much in the Year Zero. Yeah, I think you're right, Matt. So much in the Year Zero system that works so well. So obviously that's why Free League saw it as a logical fit. It would work very well, like how to fortify a prison or fortify a shopping mall or whatever to protect yourselves. Yeah, that would be fun. I mean, why didn't they just get the Dawn of the Dead license or something? Why did they get George Romero's zombie apocalypse license? That would have been so much more playable and so much more fun. But I guess though, that's famous but not popular. It's just those are cult films, and those are films that maybe newer players don't know don't have much to say about it. I don't know. But are we still good here? Okay, yeah. Very strange. I just saw something pop up. Yep, we're still excellent. Yeah, I finally got the bitrate down, so thankfully, we are, we're doing okay. Oh, yeah, talking about 10 Cloverfield Lane. Nice. Yeah, that's so funny. They just tried to tie a series of movies to Cloverfield. Oh, interesting. Altered Carbon has respawned. Yeah, the sleeving. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Abyss says, I really hate the reality of immortality. If you're rich enough, you can get uploaded constantly. So if you die, your copy will be up to date, but it's not really you anymore. You're just a literal copy. Well, yeah, with people being so happy with AI art and text, I don't think they're going to mind if their own selves are AI generated. Matt saying they had a fuzzy excuse for continuity of consciousness. But I didn't buy it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's Star Trek teleporters. Yeah, that's right. Copy paste. Oh, yeah, didn't they do... Yeah, they say that you are conscious the entire time, but you don't actually get deleted or a new one is made. But yeah, it does seem like it is a copy paste when you take a... And also, Matt has to bring up Will Wheaton again. Yeah, he's been popping up in on like YouTube and things. I think. Oh, that's right, because the season of Picard is all the old Next Generation cast, and so they've been interviewing him, and interviewers bring up Will Wheaton, and so yeah, Riker had some nice things to say, kind things to say about Will Wheaton. But you never know. Yeah, these kid stars, I don't know. It's you gotta feel sorry for all of them, but then they all make pretty bad choices after that. Yeah, interesting. Oh, sorry. Chris was wrong about something about, at least about Blade Runner. Oh, interesting. Oh yeah, St. Patrick's Day. That's right. You guys are celebrating same. I wonder how many people are doing like live streams and wearing green in front of their green screens on Twitch and everything, just forgetting that they're going to key right out. Nice. All right. So let's see. Yeah. The immortality. Yes. Carl Urban. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so far behind on the chat. Yeah, Carl Urban kept his helmet on for Dread, and that's a shame. He's not going to be involved, or so far as we know, if that even happens. But that Mega City 1 TV series, which probably won't happen with all the belt tightening that's going on with streaming, and. Yeah, he was initially, I guess they talked to him, and he because he mentioned it at the Comic-Con in Tokyo that I went to. He was there on stage with a bunch. It was a really random group of actors. A lot of Thor. The third Thor movie were there, and they asked him, and he was talking about Judge Dredd a little bit. But I guess, yeah, that's not going to happen. They're going to focus on some rookie or whatever. So maybe no Dredd in the Judge Dredd series. They'll mention him. I'm sure they'll show his photo or whatever, but they're not going to actually have an actor playing Dredd. Yeah, but that was pretty admirable how he did that, because it seems like he probably had agents and stuff saying, no, they got to see your face, or no one's going to know you're in this movie. Oh, yeah. So we need to kill... What are we talking about here? Miguel's talking about the worst part of the... she will not be named, is the tradition of traditional storytelling. Disney would have Star Wars dollars flowing in by the billions. Yeah, they need to break everything and piss off the fans instead of building something new. Oh, yeah, that came up. There was a quote from an interview with the D&D directors, I think. And they're just like letting, they're saying what they keep saying, that they're saying the quiet part out loud. They keep talking about things like, yeah, we wanted to humiliate all the male characters because of that. We thought that would be fresh and funny. It's It's like that's all that's been happening for the past 10 years. Well, why is that fresh and funny? And that's kind of undermining the whole tone of anything that would be D&D. And then also they were saying that we use IP, so we don't care about Dungeons and Dragons. We have no love for it at all. We're just using it as a costume to get in to to get access to the audience so that we can tell our stories how we want to tell them. So they're not interested in making a movie that feels like Dungeons and Dragons, that is based on anything that has any love in it. They just want to use an IP to get access to a bigger audience than they would have for their original work or their other works. And they said those things in an interview, like very deliberately. So that's really depressing that they're actually that upfront about what garbage they are. And it's just that's just very, very self-involved. I guess, what was it? I mean, these are the people that are writing and directing now. The younger people that are writing and directing now were raised on YA fiction, young adult fiction, and slash fiction, fan fiction, websites and Tumblr and everything. So of course they're terrible writers, and they're so self-absorbed, and they're just narcissists that are just involved in getting their stuff crammed into places it doesn't belong. Kill Han, humiliate Luke, and off Leia in that weird CG way that they had to do it. That was really depressing. Yeah, people keep saying that, and that's the most depressing thought, is that Disney Star Wars did not think well enough in their stupid story that they wanted to tell to just put the three main characters together again. Just put Han, Luke, and Leia on the Falcon, and that's all we want to see. And then that's it. Yeah, you get our money. But they couldn't even do that. That's really sad. Yeah, very, very bad. Hey, Minion, how's it going? Rob, is there... Good to see you. Oh, yeah, no. Let's see. Oh, yeah, what are we talking about? Oh, still got my Wheaton Gen Con story. Right, if I remember. Oh, nice. Yeah, we got, okay, so guess, co-hosting, Matt will be co-hosting soon. We need a Will Wheaton story. Nice. Yeah, there's some, people act terrible at conventions. I've had a couple of people like they have that "don't meet your heroes" kind of saying, and a couple of people that I really like their work talk to them at Comic-Con in San Diego, and just regret every second of it. It's amazing. Amazing how people will act. Nice. Yeah, they should have opened the First Order assassins killing all the old heroes. Yeah, right. That's exactly what they would have made the stakes higher. That's an interesting that's an interesting take, Matt. And that would have been good. I mean, that's exactly what they wanted to do, is just clear the decks. So they should have had that there was some kind of conspiracy and First Order wiped out all the old rebellion heroes. Yeah, that would have been, I mean, it would have been shocking, but it would have been better than the shock of fucking The Last Jedi, whatever the second one was. That was terrible. That was shockingly bad. The only shocking thing about it was how bad it was. Yeah, you said it. Yeah, people that are a step above fan fiction are writers that dare to fix the works of much better authors. Yeah, it's crazy. Matt says, I think we have very divergent opinions on dramatic import. Yeah, it's... I just remembered Disney was in hot water with another Star Wars producer. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I wonder what we're actually going to ever see again. It sounds like, especially with the economy now, that maybe that a $200 million budgeted Ant-Man movie was probably not the best move for Disney Marvel. So everything, they may be pulling back on everything for a little while. Yeah, all the movies are irrelevant. And yes, only Mando and that super merchandisable Baby Yoda remain. That's so funny. That literally is the only character they can sell toys of now. To like everybody. To not just weird collectors or Star Wars maniacs, but everybody now, sees that as some kind of little pop culture thing. So at a time, Miguel's saying at a time where Disney was not asking for any new ideas or pitches from anyone, and on the blacklisting, she got scouted by Kennedy. Oh, for a Star Wars trilogy. Oh yeah, right. The adept. Yeah, right. The that former assistant of Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, and remember when they blew up Coruscant? It's amazing. It doesn't make any sense. And I was even talking to Alan, who's a big Star Wars fan and has been trying to read the High Republic, the kind of far future? I forget what it is, but that new setting that Disney is trying to do, that High Republic, and said he just can't get into it. It just doesn't make any sense. So they don't know what they're doing. It's too bad. Yeah, there was something else. Yeah, so Willow. So Matt and I were talking about Willow not getting renewed. I wonder how much. And it does seem like streaming doesn't give shows much of a chance, but things like the new Star Trek series and stuff, they have these weird commitments of a certain number of seasons, just like Rings of Power. Amazon has a commitment to a certain number of seasons, so they're going to produce it regardless. So it'll be interesting to see if they'll produce stuff, if they have an obligation to make 3 or 5 seasons, and they're just going to lower the budgets so it's just ludicrous, what's being produced. High Republic era. Yeah, Mineral Jedi, right? Yes. Yeah, it's a weird. I don't like the fact that they make it very confusing because they have like kids comic books, then young adult books and comics, and then adult novels, all in this same era. And how can they tell stories? It's just like Clone Wars, when people are talking about, Clone Wars is canon for new Star Wars, for Disney Star Wars, but when you go back and watch those old episodes, they're so made for kids. It's like, so this happened in the Star Wars universe, like these wacky kid adventures, those are canon now, and those are actually things that happened. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's very I don't know what they're doing. It's just weird that they've hurt merchandising so much. It's weird. Japan has never been huge Star Wars fans. They've imitated, I think, a lot of like anime creators and stuff have been the fans of Star Wars, and so they've brought a lot of the themes and the style of like space opera into a lot of anime, which they were kind of already doing even in the 60s, more so than the US. And but just like with DC, the licensing rights for merchandise are still really popular. So there's like chewing gum and stuff now, like little like just chiclet kind of gum that has prequel characters printed on it. You get like little young pod racer Anakin and stuff is just randomly printed on stuff. So for them, the licensing for the to create products with Star Wars characters on them is still valuable in Japan, but I don't think Japan cares about Star Wars. And China totally missed Star Wars, like they didn't get it at all, so they have no love for it. So it's a weird, they're in a weird situation where they've completely undermined it in any countries or markets that care about it. But they're still selling the rights to put those likenesses on, razors and gum and weird stuff in Japan. So I don't know. Oh, and Matt's saying, and the Marvel side is unraveling now. Yeah. Get noped soon too, I bet. Yeah, it's weird. I wonder what's going to happen with that stuff. And it would be so funny if Disney sells any of those, if they let go any of those properties just because they figure they can't do anything with them. Yeah, it's very, very strange. Abyss is saying, Ray would have been a perfect to turn heel. Yeah, definitely. And the fact that they even kind of suggested that in her, like, facing that dark side, Ray, that would have been much better. Yeah, it would have been a much better, amazing movie. She turned to the dark side, and then in the second movie, Finn was training so that he could. Abyss. That's it. That would have been it. And maybe if someone would have had better, if they would have had a plan and better control, that would have been great. Because they suggested they had Finn holding a lightsaber in the first movie, have Rey turn, and then have them fight. I think that would have been much better than the Kylo Rey thing. That would have been really good. Finn and Rey facing off. Yeah, Abyss, definitely. That would have been so much better. I don't know, and I think it's just because they don't want to do anything too significant with these characters, because they just wanted to, have them continue off into their own thing. The same reason why they didn't make the Disney park original trilogy Star Wars is because they wanted it to be theirs, and they wanted to go off into this grand future that they thought Disney Star Wars had. It's amazing. They really, that would have been so good. I really wish Finn would have had a much better presence in the sequel trilogy. He really got screwed, and then the actor knows it too. I think he's pretty anti-Disney at this point. Oh man. Yeah, that would have been really cool. Oh man. Yeah, if she would have stepped up, and he would have just taken a back seat to Rey. Kylo. And then that would have satisfied all those shippers that were doing the Reylo, fan fiction and stuff. That would have been perfect. They would have been dark side, but they would have been together. Oh man. Yeah, they really screwed that up. They lost the feeling of that. And I think it seems like a lot of that stuff, a lot of the decisions, you can see the corporate decisions and the kind of merchandising, marketing, and kind of control of IP decisions that they're making that really make it just creates bad stories. It's bad characters and bad storytelling. Oh, that's cool. Attack the Block's getting a sequel. That's cool. So Boyega will get some attention from that, and it won't be Star Wars. We can put all that Finn behind us, all that Finn nonsense behind us. Oh man, yeah. There was something else. I didn't put it in the notes. There's something else that I kept seeing that I wanted to bring up. Yeah, but that Midjourney magazine, that's really nonsense. It's so funny. Yeah, I had a friend that's a writer in Los Angeles, and I found his website, and the cover art, like he did posted a bunch of stories and microfictions about the cover art for all of his stuff is Midjourney AI art. So that was depressing because he used to hire me to do stuff. Or always ask me about graphics and stuff, and I guess that won't be happening anymore. I guess Midjourney is his new illustrator. Yeah, it's crazy. Sorry, that combined chat does not work at all. So sorry if someone's messaging in there from either Facebook or Twitch or whatever. I'm not seeing it because the combined chat doesn't put it in. Yeah, because I saw Rob was in there from Facebook. Yeah, very weird. But yeah, and we'll be doing tomorrow. We're gonna probably finish our first mystery in Vesen. So Matt and Will are doing excellent characters as usual. We'll see if they survive. Yeah, I like though. Well, I guess I don't want to give anything away mechanically, but Matt probably already knows. Yeah, the more injured you get, then the more interesting your character gets in that game. So that's cool. Yes. Yeah, watching on YouTube is the dark side of this live stream. Oh man. Yeah, right, that's true. The way that it's impossible. It's so funny that so many companies, so many studios want to foreground female characters and make, central action hero women, but at the same time they can't play by the same rules, because you don't want to see them get punched in the face, you don't want to see them die. So like there's no, and once you know that, there's no jeopardy or anything. They're not actually in any danger, because they can't be. They've got insane plot armor. But it's weird they're doing that, but they're like breaking the rules. So Abyss is saying they could get away with Mary Sue if they went with the whole turning, because she clearly was special, like Anakin. Oh yeah, right. If she had turned to the dark, and that would have been a story. I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess the reason they didn't do that is because they thought that they just did that with Anakin. They did that more recently with Anakin, but that would have been a much better story. And just the weakness. I think that's much more compelling when characters, lose their struggle, against darkness. I think that's much more compelling. I hope the Snyder Netflix Star Wars project is good. The Snyder. Are we getting which one is that? Oh no, is it Rob Snyder? Are we getting a Rob Schneider? I think a Kylo Ren facing a turned Ren would have been a way to salvage that last movie. Yeah, it was really weird. I wonder what. And we'll never. I guess people, if anyone's still interested, somebody may kind of, do some interviews and try to get some. Because a lot of the periphery, like production people and peripheral people, kind of know what was going on. You won't get any of the, J.J. Abrams or any of the producers or anybody to admit what was actually going on. Well, you get some of the peripheral people, so maybe they'll write a book about why the sequel trilogy sucks so bad. But yeah, it won't be for a while. But they're trying to salvage that property. Yeah, it's really, really funny. But I think they're obviously trying to over milk and overproduce Walking Dead as well, because I can't even imagine, because I think they just suddenly, I don't think they finished the series. I think they just dropped Fear of the Walking Dead. I watched something about it that was they gave a summary of each of the plots of each of the seasons, and it sounded horrible. I'm so glad I spared myself from suffering through that, because it just sounds like, you just got really bad studio notes and really bad restrictions with budget and stuff, so it damages the ability to tell stories. Oh no. Matt's not crazy. Zack Snyder's mature Star Wars movie coming to Netflix. Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. That your spelling threw me off. I was thinking Rob Schneider. Oh, this Star Wars Snyder cut. Wow. Oh, that's right. The what's it called? Something Moon. Yeah, he's doing his what the heck's it called? Yeah, something Moon, isn't it? Yeah, Zack Snyder's space opera thing. Yeah, I saw some production stills from that. It looks interesting. It looks well. Yeah, sorry, that just confused me. I wasn't putting Zack. I was putting Rob. I was like, yeah, Rob Schneider needs to be in a Star Wars movie. He was in Judge Dredd. Yeah, that's a cool. Sorry, that totally threw me off. Yeah, something Moon, like some black moon or something. Yeah, I saw some. There it is, a Rebel Moon. Sorry. Yeah, I saw some stills from that, and yeah, it looks like it'll be interesting. It'll be so funny if it like reignites what people want in space opera, and it turns into this whole like franchise of its own. Because I mean, that's definitely what people should be doing now. Is instead of I guess they've kind of tried to do that. There's the alternative takes, like The Boys, and some of the alternative takes on superheroes people have run with, and none of it's really like been better or inspired a bigger following than the original stuff. But that would be really funny if somebody did like an end run around Star Wars and did a new popular kind of space opera stuff. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, sorry, Matt. I totally, you totally confused me. so he wrote a spec script for Star Wars that got rejected, and now they're going to make it a Netflix movie. That's great. That's very, very cool. Yeah, yeah. I didn't know it was like directly connected, that it was Star Wars with the serial numbers filed off. That's great. Very funny. Yeah, what's his face could do that too. Well, I guess it wasn't. It was pretty much tied into the continuity though. The guy that was supposed to direct the third movie, I'm not gonna remember his name, but yeah, who was kicked off the third movie for JJ to return. But yeah, his script wasn't. It was pretty much not a separate idea. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I wonder what's gonna. Yeah, Biss was saying, Kylo was a irredeemable and pitiful character, which is great because it could have been used to make him even more bitter and resentful when she was clearly superior to him. Yeah, yeah. I from those little hints of the Kylo Ren character from the first movie, I'm like, that was interesting. That was an interesting take, and kind of like a, I don't know. There was some little tiny kernels of interesting things that they didn't do anything with, but yeah, Kylo being like a poser or like a fan, like a weird emulator of Darth Vader and being a failure at it was much more interesting. Fanfic of we're back to fanfic of the rings. Oh man, yeah, that's still so funny that they're talking to I think Orcus brought this up last week. Yeah, they're talking to Peter Jackson, and Warner Brothers is going to make more Lord of the Rings content. That's insane. If that happens and totally overshadows Amazon. The sad thing is though, it might, like, people that are drawn back into that, like normal, not huge fans that are drawn back into Lord of the Rings because of new Warner Brothers projects, may actually then give some, more attention to the Amazon project. Man, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, right. Yeah, never delivering. Knights of Ren, yeah, just having them walk through a hallway in the third movie. That's so cool. Yeah, I totally didn't know that about the spec script for that Rebel Moon, so that makes it even more exciting. And they should really promote that. I mean, there's no reason that they can't say this is a lost, this is a version of Star Wars that Disney doesn't want you to see. That would have been great. Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's all they did. That's all that the Force Awakens did, is just set up stuff and just be like, whatever. And then the fact that what's his face, that little Keebler elf that directed the second movie, Rian Johnson, the fact that he tried to answer, he tried to put a period at the end of all of those sentences of like just nonsense that could have been interesting, but he just said nope. That was really weird. That was a really weird way to handle the mystery box thing, like set up all these things and just be like, no, none of that happens. Just kick all the mystery boxes over, and inside is nothing. Yeah, so bizarre. I don't know. Yeah, I wonder if there is a way to resurrect or bring any of that stuff back. We'll have to see. I don't think with current management and stuff that they could possibly do it. Yeah, I don't know. And that was the thing I was thinking about too, why the Star Wars fans are so mean, like they're so angry, and the whole fandom is so messed up right now. And it was just, I think the difference between, because I think Star Trek fans have just given up ever seeing an intelligent Star Trek again, even though I guess this third season of Picard is giving some people hope. They've just, it's never going to happen. And so they're more resigned to that. But Star Wars fans are just weird and angry. And I think it's just because, was I talking I don't remember one of the live streams I was talking about this on, but Star Wars is just kind of meant to be dumb, dumb fun and simple, and that's why like its immediate reception was so bad in like science fiction conventions and stuff. Nobody wanted Star to go anywhere near Star Wars if they were like a 2001 or the more hard science fiction fans. They didn't want to go anywhere near this space opera nonsense that didn't make any sense and were explosions in space and sound in space and everything. But and I think that's the reason. If you just pissed off a bunch of dumb people the fans, because I wasn't a Star Wars fan. Like everybody just liked it. It was like E.T. There aren't E.T. fans, or there aren't trying to think of another. There aren't Jaws fans. They're like, oh, I'm a huge Jaws fan. Those were just phenomena. Those were just those blockbuster phenomena that everybody enjoyed, and it was kind of a shared pop culture moment. And so there weren't Star Wars fans, and Star Wars is dumb, and so trying to make it something more complicated or more interesting is just not going to work, and you're just going to make a bunch of people that like dumb stuff angry, because it was comforting, because it was not too didn't hurt your thinker when you watched it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a funny thing, but I think that explains a lot of the anger. It's just not it's not very rational people that are that you're offending. But that's the charm of it. That's why it's comforting, and that's why it's part of a lot of people's childhood. It's because it just inspired a lot of imagination, as a kid. And I mean, it was like one of those like cross generational hits, because like my grandparents, like a World War II generation, went to see that. I went to see that with them. That's bizarre. There's no other films. Maybe Saving Private Ryan was the only other film that I actually watched with my grandparents. So that kind of stuff is it's amazing when that happens, but it's a shame that it's just been reduced to another Disney property. I think you're right. Ryan Johnson was trying to be way too clever. He's the smartest he's the smartest munchkin in the room. God, I hate that guy. I love the that one clip of him saying someday this war must end. Wait, Star Wars. No, Star Wars never ends. The war never ends. So he like totally doesn't even have like the right mindset for making Star Wars movies. It's in the title, Ryan. It's never ending war. Someday these wars will end. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Matt, you're right. Yeah, for that. That was the second movie. Yeah, the Last Jedi, plural or singular. The space gas. We're running out of space gas. You didn't know there was space gas, did you? But we're running out of it. That's a very funny thing. Yeah, Finn was reduced to a worthless token character, and it's so funny that they went with this whole, and that was in the original trailers, and the thing that they wanted to try to make compelling, or make like you've never seen this before. Look, a black stormtrooper, or a black character in stormtrooper armor. You've never seen this visually. You've never seen this in Star Wars, even though so many of the actual actors in the suits were black. There was like set photos of like a lot of black actors, because it was filmed in England, a lot of black actors in stormtrooper armor. But they went with that, and it was just this tokenized stupid thing. They didn't legitimately have any plans for that character other than, hey, look at his skin color. Okay, now move out of the way, we got a story to tell here. It was really pathetic. And I think that was the thing that was so refreshing about Andor 2 is no Jedi and no CG, no CG, original trilogy characters. It was very. Wow. Yeah, Abyss still hasn't seen episode 9. Yeah, it's not worth it. There's nothing that you're missing at all. Yeah, it's really, because I just I didn't want to see it. I didn't have any excitement. Or that was it was in the theaters in Japan right at the beginning of COVID, or when COVID started to hit Japan. But yeah, I didn't have. It was, sunk. What was that? The sunk cost fallacy that made me see that ninth movie, because I'm like, well, I've seen the other 8. I guess I should see the 9th. That was the only reason that I went. But yeah, that was it. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, good night, Matt. Take it easy. Happy St. Paddy's Day. Finish your green beer and get to bed. Oh yeah, that's right. The lesbian kiss at the end of the last movie. Was that episode 9? Yeah, that was crazy. I love that when they just have to. Okay, we can just cut this out, right? We can just chop it off. Just cut it out. Yeah, yeah. That's really crazy how Disney thinks that stuff's not going to surface. Like when they make alternative promotional materials that are hiding LGBT characters, or hiding black characters, or anybody that they know is not going to sell well in China. People are going to find it very easily because they're going to make a Chinese website, and then people are going to instantly have that. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's a really fake. It's a really weird fake gesture that they're doing. It's very token, and weird. I don't know what that is, but it's a very Disney move. It's crazy. Well, I should probably wrap it up. I have to do something terrible since my stream that I do from home completely crashed. I'm gonna see if that video card from home is really that bad, so I'm gonna swap it into this PC and see if it does the same thing. So I'm trying to figure out if it's the motherboard or the video card or like a driver thing or whatever. But I've done everything that I can at home, so the only thing I can think of is just to swap video cards. And so you may never see me again because I may never have a working PC either here or at home, but we'll give it a shot. Yeah, it's the last kind of test I can think to do. So I'm going to see if it because these two machines are pretty comparable. It's just the video card is bizarre. So yeah, it's so crazy. We'll make her a failed love interest for the failed black character. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, God, yeah, that they Lando's daughter or whatever she was at the end. They're just like, oh, you used to be a black stormtrooper. Hey, there's another black stormtrooper. You guys are a couple now, right? Because that's very 70s style. Yeah, I know. That's the thing, Abyss said. That's the thing that's ruining my life, is that I just want to replace. I would just like to replace the video card, but the prices are all over the place. And you can't trust it. You can't buy anything secondhand and trust that it hasn't been in a crypto mining rig for the last 2 years. So yeah, I'm really worried if it is the video card that's bad. Because I've done everything else. I've updated every other possible thing, but this will be the big test. Yeah, I'm gonna roll for sanity. Exactly. Yeah, so wish me luck. And so we'll be back, hopefully, even if it's on a new PC, we'll be back next week to do this again. So thanks everyone for watching, and especially thank you to members and patrons. You guys are amazing supporting this, and may even have to replace the video card if I screw things up. But yes, the audio for this will be on the Patreon RSS, which you may be listening to right now. And we'll be back again next week. And of course, this is archived on YouTube and Twitch. So thanks so much for listening and or watching, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.